Welcome to Everything Football and welcome to another Champions League Fantasy Update video. In this one, we will be answering or trying to answer the question Match Day 3. Which chip should we be using, Wildcard or Limitless? Now, as always, remember these videos, especially these Wildcard videos and Limitless videos, you literally do not have to go for the same. You can make your own decision. You actually need to make your own decision. It doesn't necessarily mean because Glenn did a video talking about why the Wildcard is better than the Limitless or why the Limitless is better than the Wildcard. No, it literally depends on your team. Even if I predict City to beat Victoria Pilsen or Copenhagen or whoever they're playing by 10 goals to nil, you might not agree with that. You might be like, you know what? No, you watch football as well. You might be like, Man City, I think they're only going to score 2 goals in that game. So it literally depends on you. You are the manager of your team, so you have your own plan, and your team has their own plan. So just make sure to go with how you feel. Maybe it can help you change a couple of decisions, maybe, but in terms of which chip you're going to play, literally up to you. So I will be talking about the benefits and some advantages and also disadvantages of some of these chips. And I will start with the wildcard. Let's start with the wildcard. What is the biggest advantage of playing your wildcard in match day 3? So the biggest advantage of playing your wildcard and trying to get all the big boys in match day 3, not the big boys, but big boys for match day 3 and 4. That is exactly it. You can target both match day 3 and 4. Now, we know the fixtures in match day 3 are the same fixtures in match day 4. So Bayern gets to play against Pilsen, Ajax gets to play against Napoli, Chelsea gets to play against AC Milan, Real Madrid, Shakhtar, Leipzig, Celtic, Juventus, Maccabi Haifa. The next match day it's going to be just the away. If you're away at in the match day 3, you're going to be at home in match day 4, and vice versa. So you can target the same fixtures. So the one benefit of playing the wildcard is that you can target both matches because they're literally playing the same team. So if you get Sane, Sane is going to play for you in match day 3 against Pilsen and play in match day 4 against Pilsen as well. If you try to avoid a player, you're going to avoid them for match day 3, and you'll also want them to avoid them in match day 4 because you feel like the fixture is tough for them. So that is advantage number 1 of playing the wildcard. You can target both match day 3 and 4. The second benefit of playing your wildcard in match day 3 is that you can let me show you plan, or let me try to explain for you the plan. When you play your wildcard in match day 3, you literally have the same team for match day 4, and these are the teams that are going to play match day 4, the same teams. I can literally just keep these players in match day 3 and 4 unless a disaster totally happens and 7 or 8 of your players are rested, which is very unlikely. So heading into match day 4, you can just decide to just make one transfer. So when you make one transfer, you can carry over the other transfer so that you can have 3 transfers for match day 5. Is that clear? So if you don't make 2 transfers in match day 4, you just make one transfer. You can carry over one transfer to match day 5 so that in preparation for match day 5, when the fixtures turn again, you'll have 3 transfers to work with that one. And also, if you don't want to use that transfer, you can save it again, and you'll still have it for match day 6. If you prefer, you can just use one in match day 4, use another one in match day 5, and still have 3 for match day 6 when teams have already gone through or fixtures have changed as well. You get to know which teams have something to play for, and you can play it in match day 6. Not only that, you can also set up nicely for the Limitless. So if you have your Limitless chip in your wildcard chip, you can play your wildcard in match day 3 and then don't play any chip in match day 4. Then you'll try and figure out when you're going to play your Limitless, match day 5 and 6. And I think it sets you up perfectly. In case you feel like teams already gone through, they're going to rest players in match day 5, then you can play your Limitless and go for the teams you feel like have something to play for. But if you feel like you have to wait until match day 6, it's also perfect as well, because you get to know which teams have something to play for on the final day. So it also sets you up perfectly for the Limitless chip. The disadvantage, obviously, of playing your wildcard is that you can't get all the premiums. Now, if someone is playing the Limitless chip, they can get Mane, they can get Sane, they can get Muller, all the big boys from Bayern. They can get Chelsea players, Reece James and Sterling. But for you who's playing your wildcard, you'll have to balance your team. You're going to have to look for differentials here and there. You cannot just go for all the big City boys. You'll have to get a cheaper asset from Man City. You'll have to get players like Kudus, from Ajax, cheaper players to balance your team out. So that is the one disadvantage of playing your wildcard in match day 3. If someone is playing a Limitless chip, they will probably get an advantage on you that match day if the big boys do better than the cheaper assets and the budget options. So that is the main disadvantage of playing your wildcard. Now, Limitless. What are the advantages of playing the Limitless and the disadvantages of playing the Limitless? Now, advantage number one, obviously, you can get all the premiums. You can get all the big boys, as many big boys as you want. You can get in Sane, you can get in Salah, you can get in Haaland, you can get in De Bruyne if you want, Cancelo. You can get all the big boys because there is no budget restriction. So you can literally get all the premiums, as many as you want. Obviously, a maximum of 3 from every team, but you don't have to care about the budget. Literally, you can build a team of around 150 million if you just create a team right now, which is impossible to do when you're playing your wildcard or just normal transfers. But on a limitless chip, you can play however you want without even looking at the budget options. So you can literally target those 3-4 fixtures in match day 3, and you're like, wow. Yes, Sane, Manuel, these guys are starting, definitely going for all of them when someone else is trying to get cheaper defenders or players like Kimmich just to fit in into their budget. So that is the main advantage. Obviously, you can get all the premiums. The main disadvantage is you can only use it for one match day. It's basically just one match day. Let me explain that nicely. It's only for one match day, basically. The Limitless is just for match day 3, and you get in match day 4 your team from match day 2. So if your team from match day 2 wasn't great at all, then you'll have a few problems. Yes, you'll enjoy the 100 points from a Limitless in match day 3 when you have Sane and Mane and all these guys like Vinicius. But in match day 4, if you didn't have them in match day 2, you're going to have a slight problem, and you'll have to use your 2 transfers very, very sparingly, trying to get 2 players, maybe one from Bayern and one from Real Madrid, and then you'll miss out on the players from Man City if you didn't already have 3, or you'll miss out on the players from any other team that has good fixtures in match day 3 and 4. You'll miss out on them. Also, Ajax, Napoli, you'll not be able to get players from both teams. If you're getting Berghaus, you might not be able to get Zielinski from Napoli if you're playing your Limitless. That is in match day 4. In match day 3, you can get them in, but in match day 4, you're going to have a bit of trouble getting them in. But there is actually another advantage of playing your Limitless in match day 3. Now, if you play your Limitless chip in match day 3, now I'm not a fan of playing the chips back to back, and not especially not the wildcard. If I play my wildcard in match day 3, there's no need of playing a Limitless in match day 4, for example, because there's the same exact fixtures. I think you'll basically have wasted your wildcard. You need to, when you're playing your wildcard, it has to carry you for like at least two match days, to as many as 3 or 4 match days to benefit you or to make use of the wildcard. But for the Limitless, even if you play Limitless in match day 3, I think I can allow it. I can think of it. I can think about you playing your wildcard in match day 4. Just target the players in match day 3, go for all the big boys, get the returns, get some more data on the players, and then in match day 4, you can play your wildcard and target the match day 4 itself, and then also have a plan for match day 5 and probably 6 as well until the end of the group stage. So for the Limitless, you can decide to use the wildcard right after that, but for the wildcard, I don't think it's beneficial to use the Limitless right after that. So as you can see, there's a couple of advantages and disadvantages of both chips. Literally, you do not have to agree with anything that is said. You can literally not play any chip if you prefer. You can go for the wildcard if you prefer to go for the wildcard. You can go for the Limitless and go for these guys if you prefer to go for 8 as well. Literally just up to you. But those are the thoughts I had. Literally, I had to look at everything basically to get these plans and everything, but literally up to you. You don't have to agree with me. But if you're playing, if you're still deciding to play one of the chips, if you're playing a wildcard, click on the video on the left side, and if you're playing a Limitless, click on the video on the right side to get more ideas and tips ahead of match day 3. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next